name is Declan.
Jaliyah.
Dirke.
Owen. We have Evan running down right now. And today we're going to be talking about promotion strategy, and specifically the elements that make up the promotion strategy. We're going to be talking about non-personal selling, personal selling, advertisement, product placement, sales promotion, public relations, guerrilla marketing, and sponsorships. First, we're going to be talking about personal selling.
Hi again, my name is Jaliyah, and I will start us off with personal selling or direct selling. There's a lot of different types and forms, such as face-to-face, telephone, video conferencing, email, and more. It started as early as the 19th century with the Avon Beauty Company in 1886 having saleswomen or representatives going door to door selling perfume. There's a lot of advantages of personal selling that let Avon go hundreds of years with a lot of profits. A few advantages was empathy, building that seller to consumer relationship by altering each sales pitch depending on how the individual wants to consume that perfume or that product. It also allowed for the company to see immediate response of the product, and by 2012, fast forwarding a few years, Avon was able to make a market value profit of $10.7 billion. And as personal selling let Avon become a great company, as globalization and the new age of the internet started to change how people consumed advertisement or just different types of promotion of products, Avon started to downfall as personal selling had a lot more disadvantages, such as relying exclusively on sales representatives. It was hard for the company to adapt and for people to take in this older way. And another disadvantage that Avon saw was just having a hard time adapting to the different changes of the new age in the internet. And by 2016, the company saw a decrease in market value product to $1.5 billion, according to Fortune.com. And it differs a lot from non-personal selling, which I'll be talking about next. And that includes more of advertisements and guerrilla marketing that my colleagues and my teammates will go further into detail on. And I'm just gonna give it a quick history. On my right is an ad in the newspaper that just has really simple design, and it's focusing on one post or one advertisement reaching the mass or millions. And over time in early 2010s, I have Kylie Jenner on Instagram, and with one post, she has millions of followers reading that product that she's promoting on her Instagram page. And I'll let the rest of my group do the rest.
Hello, my name is Declan, and I'll be talking about the non-personal aspect of selling advertising. In today's age, everyone's getting hit with advertisement after advertisement after advertisement. So the marketers face the problem with grabbing the attention of the audience of their target market. And by doing this, they have to evoke certain emotions through their advertising. And they do this by appealing to certain emotional triggers such as fear appeal, sex appeal, and humor appeal. One of the most notorious companies or nonprofit organizations that appeal to the fear factor is Truth. They are currently combating the teen smoking in the US by showing campaign slogans such as "Don't let big tobacco products control your paycheck," and animations that depict the effects of tobacco on your lungs. And a study done by the PMC said that the reached audience of Truth showed a 5% increase in beliefs that smoking is not cool, and not smoking is a way to show independence. An infamous company that is known for their sex appeal is Calvin Klein, as you can see in this picture of Mark Wahlberg and Kate Moss. In this picture, actually, Kate Moss is only 17 years old, which caused a lot of controversy and publicity for Calvin Klein. And obviously, we know sex sells, but in this case, the controversy gave them a lot of publicity that they weren't expecting. But people ate it up, and their sales went up by 300% in 3 months, according to Complex. And here we see KFC, which is a well-known fast food company that decided to switch wholesale distributors for their chicken in 2018, which ended up causing a shortage of chicken, and they had to close down a bunch of stores and lay off a bunch of employees, which ended up causing backlash for them on social media. And to fix this, they decided to come out with a humorous campaign that appealed to their audience, which positioned them as a human-like entity, which allowed their audience to laugh with them rather than at them and be angry with them and empathize with them. And they decided to change the letters around to FCK instead of KFC, which implied that they had screwed up. This allowed them to gain back their consumer base and continue with normal sale revenue. As you can see, evoking emotional response in their consumers through advertising is a very effective approach to gaining larger revenue. But in today's world, marketers know the importance of two-way communication in an effective promotion strategy. So they're venturing into new marketing strategies or advertising strategies such as interactive marketing, which I'll be talking about. Interactive marketing, one of my favorite examples is the IKEA pregnancy test crib ad, where it doubled as a pregnancy test and a discount for their crib. So if you tested positive when you peed on the ad, you got the discount and you got to get the discount on the crib. This, according to Adweek, IKEA interactive campaign earned 4.3 impressions and nearly $12 billion worth of earned media. So this definitely projected them and boosted their market share and sales of this crib. I'm gonna turn it over to Owen. He's gonna talk a little bit, or Evan, about product placement.
How's it going, guys? I'm going to talk to you about product placement. If I could get a show of hands, who here has heard of product placement before? Good deal. So one of the things that I've started to learn a little bit more about product placement is kind of the separation between confrontational and like very small, subtle versions. I think we're more exposed to the subtle versions, but I think the confrontational is still a huge thing. So up here I have a bunch of questions that I thought would kind of guide how to understand product placement. So a good one is, who is using product placement? I think that everyone is. Product placement's seen when you have a large commercial good or an industry or something like that, coupling with TV and the movies and big Hollywood characters and companies. So up here to the right, we have the movie Top Gun, released in May of 1986. Top Gun was a huge recruitment film, it came to be known as. From the book Operation Hollywood, it talks about how the military uses large-scale films, the flagship being Top Gun, to push people to see the military in a different light and to want to be part of it. Some of the data that came out of this was the United States military had a 500% increase in enlistments the following year between 1986 and 1987. They saw a 7,000 personnel growth the year prior, and then the year after the movie released, they saw a 13,000 personnel growth. So it's a story put inside of a product placement movie in that sense. Like the whole universe is set in this like militaristic U.S. Navy product. So then on the one on the right, we have the movie Transformers, produced by Michael Bay, released in the late 2000s. It uses GMC GMC uses it more so as a giant product placement ad for a lot of their different brands of cars coming out. The LA Times had talked about how the new Camaro was coming out, and a lot of different GM brands like GMC had released a new truck line, and it was just a lot of new stuff coming out, and they thought they could throw it into the movie and it would sell. So does this work? Is this a good way to market a good or commodity? I mean, like we talked about with the military, it was a huge explosion into people gaining interest, wanting to be pilots, wanting to go serve their country. That kind of brings us to our next thing, sales promotion. Sales promotion is a different beast than its own. It has a subsection, which I'll talk about in a second, trade promotion. Sales promotion is kind of a lot of the things that my colleagues aren't going to talk about. It's the things like the coupons and the rewards cards and the gas points that you get when you go to a store like Fred Meyer, when you go to a store like Walgreens or Costco. If we'll look up here to the far right, you'll see that it has like a total coupons and a total rewards saved. That's kind of Fred Meyer's way of looking at you as a returning customer and saying, hey, how can I, make you want to come back? Oh, I can give you some sort of reward for shopping here. Same here in the middle, this is our Costco Visa membership card. So the more you shop at Visa, or the more you shop with your Visa, the more it kind of gives you credit at Costco. I mean, that's a huge thing, especially being in Bellingham. The last one is, I was going to talk about it earlier, our trade promotion. So our trade promotion is a business-to-business sort of model where you see a company or companies from the industry, from all across different angles of the industry come together. So this one is the National Auto Dealers Association. It's where you see car companies like Porsche and Ford and Volkswagen kind of come together in a trade show sort of sense, and then connect with different aspects and different angles of the industry, like someone who sells, stereos or CRM website and different ways to sell vehicles. So, I mean, it's a large combination and mosh podge of a lot of different things. Our next is going to be public relations. Cool.
So my name's Owen. I'm here to talk about the public relations campaign of Chipotle in the late 2010s. So in 2015, Chipotle had a controversy where there was E. coli found in their lettuce that they were selling to their customers. They ended up completely shutting down all of the restaurants for about 3 weeks while they figured out what to do. So along with the help of their new CEO, they created a campaign called Behind the Foil and Be Real, which basically focused on the quality of their ingredients, how their employees cook and prepare the food, and also how their customer reacts to stuff like this. It's basically rocketed their sales. So they got a 42% growth of online sales, as well as a 6% growth of all in-store sales in the first quarter, which raised about $500 million toward the company, which is great. So they were able to completely save the company and completely change their message and idea, and it helped them become like one of the biggest food chains in America.
All right, so I'm Dirk. I will be talking about guerrilla marketing, which is a unconventional style of marketing that uses a lot of surprise to garner public attention and interaction. One good example is Jeep's Park Anywhere campaign. This is according to Car Scoops. They went around Copenhagen and painted parking spots in really unconventional, weird places to show off Jeep's 4x4 capability and off-road capability. It's easy, cheap, and simple to execute, and rather effective in public. Their next is a little bit more complicated, using geocaching in Poland. They created a treasure hunt where each geocache that you can only get to through off-roading earns you points, and at the end of the campaign, the person with the most points could win a free Jeep. This garnered a lot of attention. According to Creative Guerrilla Marketing, Jeep's website traffic had a 250,000 times increase, and their Facebook activity had an 800% increase. Sponsorships, essentially when companies give money to an event or another organization in order to have their name tied to that event and organization. A really popular football is a really popular event where sponsorships happen a lot, especially the NFL. According to media posts, in the 2019 and 2020 season, in sponsorships alone, NFL curated $1.47 billion. They also have 1,850 current contracts for sponsorships. One of the most popular sponsorships is PepsiCo. PepsiCo is no longer the top sponsor for the NFL, they're number 4 now, but they still have a 17-year-long contract that is ongoing, have spent $100 million in this season alone. They ran ads for 6 different brands under the PepsiCo name in the Super Bowl for the 2019-2020 season. And this obviously works because they sell so many snacks that 20% of their total snack production happens in the 6 weeks within the Super Bowl.
Thank you for listening to our presentation. We have some questions for you guys. They're on the board. So please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below on the questions on the board. Thank you.
Thank you.